So guys, welcome to our channel once again. In today's video on our JAMB biology exam revision series, we have 20 questions here to answer on the topic inheritance of characters in organisms. So guys, ensure to stay till the end of this video. You already know what to do. At any point you feel you want to answer the question, you can always pause this video and try out to see if you can get the answer to the question before we provide the answer thereafter. So without wasting much of your time, guys, let's start with the first question here. And it says, the change in the genetic makeup of an organism resulting in an inheritable characteristics which is new is A. Hybrid, B. Locus, C. Diploid, D. Mutation. So guys, the answer to this question is mutation. Mutation is actually a change in the genetic makeup of an organism that results in a new inheritable characteristics. So guys, that's the answer to this question, and that's option D. Let's look at the next question, guys. Question number 2. It says, which of the following is the best explanation for a child who is phenotypically short and born of two tall parents? A. The father possesses a gene for shortness. B. Nature makes the child short. C. The mother possesses a gene for shortness. D. Both parents possess gene for shortness. So guys, the answer to this question is option D, and that's both parents possess genes for shortness. If a child is phenotypically short and is born of two tall parents, it means that both parents have genes for shortness. So that's the only case where this can occur. So option D is the correct answer to this question. So let's look at the next question, guys, and that's question number 3. It says, human height is an example of a feature which depends on both A. Genetic and environmental factors, B. Phenotypic and environmental factors, C. Mother's genotype and environmental factor, D. Genotype and phenotype. So guys, the answer to this question is option A, and that's genetic and environmental factors. So let's look at the next question, guys, and that's question number 4. It says, people with sickle cell anemia have hemoglobin A is A and are heterozygous recessive. B is S and are heterozygous recessive. C is A and are homozygous recessive. D is S and are homozygous recessive. So guys, the answer to this question is option D, and that's S and are homozygous recessive. So guys, in someone who has the sickle cell anemia, the hemoglobin is abnormal. So this causes the red blood cells to become hard and sticky and have this sickle shape, looking like almost like a C shape. So guys, the sickle cells can easily die and cause a constant shortage of blood. Due to the nature and shape of this blood, they can easily die and then cause shortage of blood. And it's worthy of note that the hemoglobin here is S and it is homozygous recessive. So homozygous means the two parts are the same, so it's like SS. So if it's heterozygous, it means they are not the same. So guys, let's take note of that, and we'll move to the next question, and that's question number 5. It says, albinism is an expression of traits controlled by A. recessive genes, B. chromosomes, C. dominant genes, D. mutation. So guys, the answer to this question is option A, and that's recessive genes. So albinism is a genetic condition where people are born without the usual pigment in their bodies. So their body are unable to make a normal amount of the melanin So I believe you guys know what the melanin is. That's the chemical that is responsible for giving your skin, your eye, and your hair its color. So in albinism, you don't usually make enough of this. This albinism is caused by recessive genes, and a recessive gene is a gene that can be masked by a dominant gene. So in order to have a trait that is expressed by a recessive gene, such as albinism, you must get the gene for that trait from both parents. So that's what it entails. So in that case, you must get this gene from the both parents. In that case, they have to be homozygous. So let's look at the next question, and that's question number 6. It says a yellow maize is crossed with a white maize, and the first filial generation produce yellow maize only. The white trait is said to exhibit A. Recessiveness, B. Dominance, C. Incomplete dominance, D. Codominance. So guys, the answer to this question is option A, and that's recessiveness. We've already explained the concept of recessiveness, and I wouldn't like to bother you much by going back to that. And let's save your time and consider the next question, and that's question number 7. It says, which blood group do universal recipients belong? A is B, B is O, C is AB, and D is A. So guys, the universal recipients are AB. The AB blood group are always known as the universal recipients, whereas the O are known as the universal donors. So guys, you should know this and have it at the back of your mind. Universal recipients are AB, whereas universal donors are O. So let's look at the next question, and that's question number 8. It says, a person with blood group B can only donate blood to individuals with blood groups A is B and AB, B is O only, C is B only, and D is A and B. So guys, the answer to this question is option A, and that's B and AB. A person that has blood group B can only donate blood to the blood group AB, which is the universal recipient that can receive from anybody, and blood group B, which is the same blood group as the person. So let's look at the next question, guys, and that's question number 9. It says, blood grouping in human beings is derived from combination of A. 4 different alleles, B. 3 different alleles, C. 2 different genes, and D. 2 different alleles. So guys, alleles combination are responsible for blood groups. So there are actually 3 common blood group alleles, that's A, B, and O. So humans all have 2 alleles, one inherited from each parent, and then the possible combination of the 3 alleles are OO, AO, BO, AB, AA, and BB. So guys, let's look at the next question, and that's question number 10. It says, use the diagram below to answer the question. Here we have a diagram here having 4 dogs, and you have I, and I, and IV. So here the question says, which of the following will be true of dog I, which lost its tail in an accident if it mates with dog I? A. None of its offspring will be born without a tail. B. 1/4 of its offspring will be born without tails. C. 3/4 of its offspring will be born without tails. D. all of its offspring will be born without tails. So guys, it is indicated that this dog in II lost its tail in an accident. So it has nothing to do with the genetic makeup of this organism, and as such, it will not affect the offspring. So none of the offspring will be born without a tail. And option A is the correct answer to this question. So guys, let's look at the next question. Question number 11. It says, the F1 of a cross between a tall and a dwarf plant was tall. The F1 was advanced to F2. How many of 120 F2 plants will be dwarf? So guys, the options we have here, we have A 90, B 60, C 120, and D 30. We said that the cross was between a tall and a dwarf plant, and then in this cross the F1 generation was actually tall, and then these tall plants were now advanced to the F2 generation, and that's they were crossed again. And then the question now says, how many out of 120 of this F2 generation will be dwarf? So guys, we have to obtain this mathematically. In the F1 generation here, we'll have just, if we are to cross this, we'll have capital T, and then we'll have a small letter t and another small letter t. That's for dwarf. So if we cross this, or we'll have the capital T showing dominance, that's the tallness, and then small t, that's the recessive. And so all the first filial generation will be phenotypically tall, but guys, notice that they all have the small t. So if we cross these, we are going to be crossing among the 4 parents now. Now remember, initially there were 2 parents, but on the second filial, we are going to be crossing 4 parents to actually get the second filial generation. If we cross 2 of these tall plants here, or realize 1 tall plant with homozygous tall, and then we'll have 2 tall plants which are heterozygous tall, and then we'll also have 1 dwarf plant which is homozygous dwarf. So guys, if we do the same for these 2, we also have the same over here. So in that case, we're having 2 homozygous dwarf plants. So they are the dwarf plants we're having here. So now we said, how many out of 120 F2 plants will be dwarf? So all we have to do is we have to calculate the number of offsprings here, and then how many out of these offspring are actually dwarf, and then we'll multiply it by this 120. So in this case, we have 8 here in this second filial generation. We have 8 offspring, so we have 2 over 8 times 120, and that's 30. So guys, the correct answer to this question is option D, and that's 30. So let's go ahead and look at the next question. That's question number 12. It says, when the 2 alleles present in an organism are the same type, the genotype is described as A. heterozygous, B. homogamous, C. homozygous, and D. heterogamous. So guys, the answer to this question is option C, and that's homozygous. When the 2 alleles are the same, it's described as homozygous. So guys, let's look at the next question here. That's question number 13. It says, the pairs of genes on the position of a chromosome that control contrasting characters is known as A. variation, B. chromosomes, C. allelomorphs, D. heredity. So guys, the answer to this question is option C. That's allelomorphs. So the allelomorphs are pairs of genes on the position of a chromosome that control contrasting characters. So a pair of contrasting allelomorphs are called allelic pair. So guys, like I said earlier on, the answer to this question is option C, and that's allelomorphs. So let's look at the next question, guys. That's question number 14. It says, the blood group in humans referred to as universal recipients is A is A, B is AB, C is B, and D is O. So guys, we've answered this question before, and the answer to this question is option B, that's AB. So let's look at the next question, and that's question number 15. It says, a cross between an albino female and a genetically normal male will result in offspring that are A, all phenotypically normal, B, all albino, C, half albino, half normal, and D, all genetically normal. So guys, the answer to this question is option A, and that's all phenotypically normal. The offsprings will all be phenotypically normal, and that's because the gene expression for albinism is recessive, so it will not show in the phenotype of these offspring. So guys, the answer to this question is option A. So let's look at the next question, and that's question number 16. It says, what is incomplete dominance? A, the dominance of one allele over another, resulting in the complete expression of the dominant trait. B, the independent assortment of alleles, resulting in the random distribution of traits in offspring. C, the blending of two alleles, resulting in an intermediate phenotype between the two parental genotypes. D, the dominance of one allele over another, resulting in the complete expression of the recessive traits. So guys, the answer to this question is option C, and that's the blending of two alleles, resulting in an intermediate phenotype between the two parental phenotypes. So let's look at the next question, guys, and that's question number 17. So guys, the question says, what portion of the offspring of a cross between two heterozygote parents will exhibit the recessive condition phenotypically? Here we have options A, 1/4, option B, 1/2, option C, 4/4, option D, 3/4. So guys, if we make a cross between two heterozygous parents, so let's just use the allele for tallness here. Heterozygous mean the alleles are not the same. So let's say capital T and small t, capital T and small t. If we make a cross here, we'll notice that we have one homozygous tall, two heterozygous tall, and then one homozygous short. So you'll see that there is only one out of four picking this recessive character phenotypically. So guys, the answer to this question is option A, and that's 1 out of 4, 1/4. So let's look at the next question, and that's question number 18. It says, a man with blood group A is married to a woman with blood group A. Which of the following group combinations is possible if the family has 3 children? A is AOA, B is BAB, AB, C is OAB, and D is BA and AB. So guys, the correct answer to this question is option A, and that's AOA. So the family can only give birth to an A and an O. They cannot give birth to any individual bearing a B in their blood group. So guys, that's the answer to this question. So let's look at the next question, guys, and that's question number 19. It says, when gametes from pure breeding parents with contrasting features such as tallness and shortness are involved in monohybrid cross, the offspring in the first filial generation are usually A, homozygous recessive, B, mutants, C, purebred, and D, heterozygous dominant. So guys, the answer to this question is option D, and that's heterozygous dominant. When gametes from purebred parents with contrasting features such as tallness and shortness are involved in a monohybrid cross, there is usually a heterozygous dominance. In this case, we can illustrate, maybe let's use the allele for tallness here. We have TT, that's capital T, and then we have small letter t, small letter t. And if we make a cross here, you will realize that there is a heterozygous dominance, and all the individuals in this first filial generation here will have a heterozygous tall allele. So guys, that's the answer to this question, and that's option D, heterozygous dominant. So let's look at the next and the last question, guys. And this looks like a question we've answered before, but let's go ahead and check it out. We have a diagram here, and the question here says, if the dogs are offspring of a monohybrid cross and the gene G for gray head is dominant over the allele G, the individual whose genotype is likely to be GG, that small letter g, is A, IV, B, III, C, II, and D, I. So guys, you notice that the one which does not show this feature phenotypically is the one with this allele small letter g, and that's IV. So guys, this will be the end of this lesson, and if you enjoyed this video, guys, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to share this video with your friends. If you have any question regarding this video, guys, please drop your question in the comment section below, and we're sure to give you a response. Don't forget to share this video with your friends to enable us reach out to more people. Thank you for watching this video, and see you next time.